I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
All we are is dust in the wind, dude. Dust. Wind. Dude.
Don't you understand, Steven? Somebody has to kill the babysitter.
I'm too old for this shit.
Bullshit, Mr. Handman.
Okay, they're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you at all?
Aim for the cat, dude. Aim for the cat. I'm trying, Evil Ted. I'm trying.
Mockery. Oh, Master, I do not trust you. I cannot trust you or anyone ever again.
I've kind of lost control of Star Wars, so it's going off in a different path than what I intended. But the first 6 are very much mine and my philosophy.
Kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games, don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
You hate to do it, but at the same time, it's hilarious. Hello and good evening, afternoon, whatever it may be for y'all. Hello, this is the Fractured Filter here with another episode of Saturday Night Sith, number 56. And with me, as always, my good friend and compatriot in all this, Jay Hitman. How are you today, sir?
Dude, so pumped to be here. 56, 56, 59.
56.
Did I miss? I think I probably misquoted it. I thought I got excited and put 59. I wonder.
No biggie at all.
Did
It's been certainly climbing up there, you know, as we keep going with this. Yeah.
What did I even put? I don't even remember what I put. I don't remember what I tweeted. I probably put 59.
No, you put 56. I'm looking at it right now. You're
59.
good. You're good. You're good, brother. You're good.
I was trying to figure out what kind of headline I wanted today.
I was going to say, you were seeming especially wanting to get geared up and doing this a little early and everything.
Yeah,
like,
I just,
cool.
Let's see. Just this episode, man. Like, I'm just tired of stuff.
Tired of stuff. What?
Just tired of just these episodes, and like, so we talked.
It doesn't help that they've been like it was. We had those 2 episodes. They weren't bad for this series. They were actually kind of building towards something, it seemed like, and then we go immediately back to a fluffball nothing episode, and then this is just a continuation of it. They seem to be liking their 2-parter episodes this season, so yeah, and they just been my brother. I didn't watch it with my episodes for one, with my headphones for once, and he actually was subjected to this episode, and he's just like, what the hell, that was an absolute nothing episode. I'm like,
this is a nothing burger.
I don't know what to tell you. He's like, for the first time, he's like, that was a filler, right? I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
It's not a it's a filler per se with a bunch of hidden innuendos. Is that the word?
Innuendos and
Innuendos
messaging and stuff.
messaging and
Yeah, some
you
stuff
know,
I picked up on.
I watched this video. It's by I think Frank Turek used to do it, but it was talking about like Disney as a whole has a lot of like subliminal messaging and
That's been
stuff
that's been a known thing for quite some
for
time for them,
sure.
and things that have been snuck through due to
What's
either like pissed off
crazy is
artists and stuff like that. And
you
yeah, there's
never
been a
realize, yeah,
lot of stuff over the decades with old Disney.
you never realize it until it's like actually pointed out though. And like this episode, I just found it very, very because you and I talked Friday, yesterday.
Yeah,
We talked. You're
yeah.
like, because you asked me if I watched it. I said no. He said, well, basically watch it. I caught something that you said raging. Or I know,
Yeah,
didn't
Rhino
necessarily
didn't
caught, and I
necessarily
immediately
catch.
so right off the bat when I saw it, I was like, I wonder if this is what he's talking about. And then the whole episode, I couldn't stop staring at this specific thing that I saw.
Yeah,
and
and what I saw, and I was like, I kind of took a moment, and I'm like, okay, am I just reading too much into something? And I even asked Sheepster, I was like, so am I just looking too much into this? And he's like, no, you're probably not, considering who it's coming from. I'm like, okay, that's good. At least I'm not seeming entirely crazy. But it was certainly something that I was like, oh. But yeah,
thought here's the thing. I thought that the episode where they're at the memorial wall, right, and looking at the highlighting of Sid nudes, like I thought that was bad. I was like, okay, like it's not like necessarily in your face, but it's there, and I'm like, somebody either one slipped that in, or
I mean
that's something. I mean that
was the thing that required somebody to really like translate the whole stupid wall.
Right.
Well, this thing that I picked up on was something that was basically right in your face.
Sometimes the things that are right in your face are kind of almost hidden in a sense, but it's like, what, like, so I think we both, let's see here. Hopefully both picked up on, what's that dude's name? I don't even remember what the guy's name was. Somebody tweeted about it. I'm not gonna be able to find it, am I? It was a tweet that I picked on up earlier today, and it was like just how like Disney's just lazy with the naming of their characters.
Yeah, I think I saw something about that earlier too. Yeah.
Oh dear, am I gonna be able to find it? What was that? What was the character's name, dude?
The kid?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me
something Barrio.
I never caught it. I heard it, but then like it didn't register with me for whatever reason. It just did not. Benny Barrow.
Benny Barrow.
Yeah, Benny Barrow.
Let's see here. What a just a really creative name, man.
Right? I mean, you can't go wrong, right? Get that tweet, pop it up.
I'm trying to find it. Let's see here.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, so we're gonna be going right. So I just want to first give the shout out. We are right now live, not only on YouTube, but I've got it set up. We are live on Rumble and we're live on Odyssey right now. So we got both of those up and running, going smooth.
Benny Barrow, and this, if anybody,
I was here. Yeah, let me. I got the picture specifically.
All right, here, hold on. I'll
highlight it.
You go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, so that right there.
How did you find it? You got a better shot than I did.
I took a screenshot.
And
then I put, because this is the thing. I was about to post this on Twitter, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to hold off. I'll wait for our show. So like I said, I don't know how real widespread the quote unquote equality tattoo symbol is. And I as I looked at it, I know that supposedly it's supposed to be on the wrist or whatever like that this is a whole LGBT tattoo symbol. And you could just say fractured. You're just reading a little too much into this. It's just, a couple of markings on them. And considering what we know with Disney, Lucasfilm, and stuff like that, and how even at Celebration this year, they will be having the drag panel.
Yeah.
This is not far outside their realm of further pushing this narrative with this. And then on top of it, this is an underage or young teen.
Yeah.
But regardless, an underage kid
who
has by either forcibly or had this tattoo placed on him, which just adds a whole other bunch of levels of what the hell
with a bunch
you could look into. And on top of it, this kid is basically in a weird slave labor camp
with no girls.
Yeah, they all happen to be young boys, from what could be told or seen. It's just a whole bunch of levels of
here's the thing that
questionable
you're missing,
material.
Here's the thing though, like we see it like that, but the way that Disney's gonna spin it, or somebody from the left is gonna be like, well, no, they're all equal, and he's just trying to be equal amongst his peers. So
yeah, a little starship thief attempting to buy his way into the good graces of his overlord. By stealing that ship from people that had done nothing wrong to him, other than they just left their ship unlocked stupidly.
Yeah.
But
I just the whole episode, like I was just
did I get you a little too overly focused on it?
Yeah, because I'm sitting here, it's like, because it's just like, and so the whole episode I'm like trying to look for like clues of like, is this kid or like,
he was to a degree, he had been kind of groomed by Mako into certainly keeping a degree of loyalty, because he showed certain level of loyalty to Mako, especially even when the Bad Batch didn't really treat him poorly. They just wanted their shit back rightfully, and they were for the most part kind to him. And I expected him to betray them, which was the funniest freaking part. I expected that 100%. That was not a far cry from what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But, I don't know what else to say for that aspect of the episode, other than Rhino brought up an interesting point for it, was that it's supposed to be kind of a whole also anti-capitalism thing, with the way the situation was, and then the way it ended of, now we're all gonna get equal pay,
Marxism, or
So I was like,
very communist type.
I was like, I can see that. I just was more on that, like you. I was just kind of like, that tattoo. No. And then everything else and then the other little bits that was going on in the episode, I'm like, okay, more filleting of Omega and making her the driving force of everything, while the Bad Batch are just kind of almost props at this point.
Yeah, it's just once again, it's another episode that it means nothing. It's like
it's just another. It's just another episode, another nothing episode of, other than to say, well, yeah, there's bad people in the galaxy too, but hey, there's also good people like us that are doing something. So it was just a very It was a shallow episode, and it was a filler episode on top of it all that didn't, again, push the story forward whatsoever. It was still in the same rut that it has been. It brought nothing new. It brought nothing.
I don't know how do they do each week. Like, have they already shot every single episode? I say shoot. Have they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've already done every episode.
So every single episode in season 2, the 18 episodes have already been done. Like, they don't work this like each. It's not like a weekly episodic.
No, it's
show,
not like it's not like
WWF.
South Park or something like that where they
Okay,
just churn out
Simpsons
the episode
or
that
whatnot.
week. No. This is all done in advance.
I mean, that would make a little bit more sense if they were doing it like as a weekly episodic thing, because you just got to try to, lean on creative genius to make an episode. But this is just stupid. It literally this like 10 episodes where this is the 10th one, episode 10.
Yeah,
we have
on
another
episode 10.
8 more. The story has 6 more. I'm sorry, 16 episodes. The story has not advanced any.
No.
On a general scale. It has not advanced.
It's been so minimal at this point.
We've had 8 filler episodes and 2 that somewhat told a story or was getting ready to tell a story, and then they abandoned something. I mean, I'll say this: like 7 and 8 compared to everything else were really good episodes, comparatively speaking. And they, instead of running with it, it's like catching fire, right? Instead of like catching fire and running with it, like you just pivot on a dime and go a completely different way.
Well, it's like they tripped and face planted right into the ground after those 2 episodes. They just they grabbed that fire, or running strong, and then tripped and face planted, and then that's what we got with 9 and 10.
Yeah, like
like what the hell just happened?
Now, granted, I watched it at 3:30 this morning, so like I wasn't the most attentive. But I don't really think you need to be attentive, because the whole story is it's not even a story. It's the whole.
Hey, you caught on to what I merely vaguely talked about.
Right off the bat, I'm like, okay, let's go. It's just, again, it's very, very convenient, very ironic that Celebration's having this panel, and like I said, we could be looking at something that's not even a thing, but I just find it very, very interesting that we know with the grooming, talk and the panel that's coming up and everything that they're pushing right now is just very, like, you're telling why one. Because the other kid's like, well, the other kid had that tattoo. It's like, yeah, you're right. He did he had a Mike Tyson tattoo on his face. This guy has
he has it's still weird. I mean, having a bunch of teens, the underage kids having a bunch of tattoos is still weird. I don't get why they'd have to have tattoos.
Well, that's part of their species. Well, they're humans.
They're humanoids. They're humans. I mean, there's.
Last time I checked.
I mean, unless it was like a slave brand or something like that, but that point was not expressing.
That's a birthmark. Disney's gonna come out and say it's a birthmark.
Oh God, I probably would too.
Oh, that's a birthmark on his neck. It has no meaning of anything other than it's just a birthmark, which is very interesting. That, again, like, just at this point in time, man, like I don't even. I don't even want to come back to Bad Batch. Like, we have another 6 episodes of this, 6 weeks of this. And basically, like, yeah, I know Mando starts next week. So we'll obviously be doing Mando, which kind of sucks because instead of, I've enjoyed these 20-minute, 25-minute episodes, and now we have to go up to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the first episode is like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of fun. I'm like, really? Just 35 instead of like the 45?
Are they doing a double
minutes or something like that?
Are they doing a double premiere?
No, they're not. No. Which is really weird considering Mando, you'd think, would be their kind of their flagship, the whole Mando
they're not going to do,
and stuff like that.
Yeah. They won't do.
They're doing 8,
episodes.
I think.
Yeah.
Again, it's still like the 8-episode run, and apparently there were people complaining about the fact that they weren't doing a 40-minute episode or whatever. And
good on them, because I don't.
We're the only ones being like, thank Christ for that.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't want to sit through 45 minutes, but it's like, so like I don't even like why even go back to Bad Batch? Like I don't see how, like, they're out of time. They were out of time 4 episodes ago to get this.
I still don't understand why they're overlapping Mandalorian with Bad Batch, considering the Mandalorian will probably overshadow Bad Batch.
I think it's probably just kind of like Book of Boba was to Mando, is just a thing to kind of like a placeholder to get people to basically the appetizer before the main course.
Oh, and then, you know
again,
what
that doesn't make
the funny thing
sense
is, too, is that now they're pointing people towards like the Star Wars YouTube and stuff like that to tell people to get caught up if they didn't watch Book of Boba Fett. It's like, oh my god, you people are this ridiculous.
What doesn't make sense though to this is that Book of Boba was a 7 episodes,
something like that. Yeah,
so 7 episodes. So like, there's not a lot of stock put into that. Like, and again, when we first did that, like, I thought, like, man, this, before we knew anything, like, obviously we knew that I had an inclination that Star Wars was just going to butcher, or Lucas was going to. I keep saying Lucas. Disney was going to butcher it, but I thought,
Lucasfilm, Disney.
There's potential here because they could have done the story with the Bounty Hunter series with Dengar, and it could have been good, but it wasn't. I don't think it was built up as like Mando was, because it Mando first and then Book of Boba, or Book of Boba then Mando?
But
Book of Boba was first, right? We did that first. That was our first, right?
Oh, that was our first. Yes, that was when we first started doing this show. That's what we started out with, the Book of Boba Fett.
But did Mandalorian come before Book of Boba?
Yeah, Mandalorian had already been out, because then we then rewatched seasons 1 and 2 of Mandalorian and reviewed it. I think after Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, so
as we were getting ready for, I think, Kenobi.
Yeah, so this will make sense. My point will make sense. So it's like Mando came out first, Book of Boba came out after. I think Book of Boba was just a placeholder or appetizer to appease people until Mando season 2 came out. But this doesn't make any sense.
Season 3 came out.
Or I'm sorry, season 3 came out but this doesn't make sense, because Bad Batch has gotten a lot of good, not from us on our side of the fence, but on their side of the fence, it's gotten a lot of high praise. Like, people have enjoyed it. So, and there was all that, when we reviewed the season 2 trailer for Bad Batch, everybody, like, there was all this hype around it. So it doesn't make sense that you would take the route that you take, unless you just have no creative genius, right? And that's 1000% probably the case. And
also, you have to be genius. There's just no creativity at all.
I mean, yeah, but like, it just to have one of your secondary flagship, if you will, sink like this, or not as and I don't know what the ratings are, and I don't think you can even give an accurate measurement of the ratings, because we've talked about this. It's like Disney Plus, like, if you log in and you can scroll past it,
it's
you
tough
could
to
say,
actually,
like you could say,
get the ratings and stuff.
You could say, oh, well, it has 300,000 or 300 million views or whatever it is, and they could be like, well, if you scroll past it, that counts as a view. So it's like, it's subjective. There's no objectivity to that metric. But yeah, so it's really like, why would you allow it to be this bad? And it comes down to your intention, whether your intention is to make it bad or not. But I mean, that's irrelevant. The point I'm trying to make is, people love Bad Batch season 1. There's a lot of it was received well, and then you announce Mando season 3. You decide to do Bad Batch in between, you decide to do Bad Batch before the first episode of Mando season 3, which we already got Mando season 3 back in the Book of Boba.
Right, we got those first 2 episodes because they wrote themselves into a freaking corner.
Yeah. So, but again, like, they should have been on this. They should have been getting the story advanced 5 episodes ago. So now they have, really, if you think about it, they have another 5, because the last one's got to be the season finale. And I don't know if they bring back Mando, or if they bring back, Bad Batch season 3, I have no idea where that's even going to go, because I don't even know where this is going to go. But you literally have 5 more episodes. So you think, So you have 100 minutes worth of story that you can tell. We don't know where Crosshair is. Well, I mean, that's that's conservative. 25 minutes for each episode, right? Unless your last episode's 40 minutes. But even if you had made them an hour each, I don't see how you come back from this, because you've wasted 10 episodes on a story that's not even a story. You've not even advanced. Where's Crosshair? Where's Sid?
No, they've been Sid was supposed to send them some support for this episode, and yet they're sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just now I'm getting pissed, because it's like, why are we spending all these episodes on these stupid planets that have no relevance to the story? We spend a whole episode playing Mario Kart on some planet that's probably Tatooine, because all roads lead back to Tatooine. We spent a whole episode based off the Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order, and you can sit there and argue like, no, it's not J. Hammond. Yes, it is. Like, read between the lines. Like, that was
definitely like paying homage to it. Yeah.
Was heavily Jedi Fallen Order esque.
Some weird cross promotion there, like inadvertent cross promotion.
Right, 1000%. Right, which again makes you think, like, are they going to want? And I told you this Friday. I was like, I'm not going to be surprised if, well, one, I'm not going to be surprised, but I'm surprised that they have. I think you said you're not surprised that they haven't, but I'm not going to be surprised if they somehow bring Din Djarin into this, like an animated version of Din Djarin into this.
Well, I could have sworn we'd gone over an article.
I can't remember if we did or not, but.
Well, that's just it. It's like, well, okay, so then how? I mean,
you've got to do something. You either make Omega a Jedi, you bring Din Djarin into it, because Din Djarin is now the savior of all these shows. Because I don't know if Filoni created him, but Din Djarin has literally, Mando.
I believe he's a joint He's either a joint creation between Filoni and Favreau, or Filoni still.
Regardless of that, like he has bailed them out time after he bailed them out with Book of Mando, Book of Boba, bailed them out in Book of Boba, because that was terrible. If it wasn't for Mando coming into that show, like, you and I still would have enjoyed it because of all the gifts and memes that came from it. But I'm like seriously stating, and what I would, it could be subjective, whatever, but like, he bailed that show out. The only reason why that show was able to, I think, survive was because of it pivoted from Boba onto Mando.
Yeah.
And we got a glimpse of what, and like, it was an escapism. We escaped the atrocity that was Book of Boba and dove back into Mandalorian. That's it. Like, you can argue against it all you want, right? So it's just so annoying that it's like, I've said this, I'm going to make a t-shirt. It's like, we have to sit here and figure out the story for them.
Basically, that's what it's like practically been left up to, is people making the story for them.
There's two
half the time. That's what people have done for them. Is basically, and they excuse. That's how they go around excusing it, and all this stuff. It's just ridiculous.
It's like this. I'll use Christopher Nolan as an example, because I'm biased and I love Christopher Nolan. I think he's an amazing director, writer, whatnot. But it's like, have you seen the movie Tenet?
No, I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
This movie, it is an amazing movie if you've not seen it, and it can be difficult at first to put all the pieces together, but once you watch the movie once or twice and you put everything, all the pieces like the pieces are within the movie, that how do I want to describe it? It's like you watch the movie and you can put the pieces it's like, it's easy to put the pieces together because you're watching it unfold, if that makes sense. It's probably a bad analogy, but like with Bad Batch, is like Bad Batch or whatever they create, it's like you have to put the pieces, like, I don't know how I want to describe it. It's hard to describe. It's like you have to sit there and wonder where they're going. But it's like you watch Tenet and you're like, man, like, oh, that's where they're going with it. Like as you progress through the movie, you wonder like, where's it going with this? Where's he going with this? What's going to happen? And then it happens, you're like, well, this happened because of this, and that happened because it unfolds before your eyes, and you're not having to sit there with a piece of paper and a crayon and try to draw a map to figure out how to get from point A to point C. Christopher Nolan may have been a bad example, but like Tenet was a movie that was very, very complex, but it wasn't until like you watched the whole movie that you figured out like why something didn't make sense until the end. So you watched it from beginning to end. But
okay.
Yeah, that's probably a poor example, but I don't have any other example than that. Other than it's just I have to sit here and wonder like where they're going with it. Like why did they go to that planet with why is it so heavily influenced? Why is it so heavily influenced by Jedi Fallen Order? Why is Omega acting like a husky dog? Why is she always wandering and getting into people's business?
Well, it's not even it's partly that, but it's also just like I said a little bit ago, she happens to be the driving force of everything. And how is it that as they're standing there, Tech wasn't the one that didn't go, oh, I can use the stupid droid to try when they were first trying to like figure out where their ship was. How is it that Mr. Genius, and this is a funny thing, like all season 1, they built up these characters as being good in their specialized field. Hell, I almost thought they took it a little overboard at times.
Yeah.
And now they've like just turned them like full retard. Because like Tech, I would have figured would have been the first one to have already tried to figure out, we can use the droid on the ship to try and possibly, backtrack the ship and find out maybe just where it is or anything like that. None of that. It was Omega apparently. And what is God, I don't know, and then I just find it was convenient.
Did they come from Omega? Didn't they come from Omega? Wasn't she?
At this point, they might as well have.
I'm genuinely asking,
on top of it,
it was Django, which was obviously the original, and then it was Boba and Omega, apparently. And everybody else was cloned from. Is that they understand? Is that mine? Maybe
because she was another unaltered clone, so she would have had to have been done around the same time as Boba because they're like close to the same age, I think.
In this timeline, they're the same age.
I think, unless Boba's a little bit older.
Does this predate? What is that book that you and I read that OG told us about? And it has to do with, it's like Boba, is it Obi-Wan goes off and tries to save one of the Jedi. He left the Order and the Inquisitors in the book. What book is it?
Last of the Jedi?
Is it Last of the Jedi where he runs into like a 14-year-old Boba?
A young Boba Fett, yeah.
Is this pre that book? Because Omega's probably around this. What you think she's 14?
It's pre that book, I believe. No, I don't. That's just it. I don't know the exact timeline of the Bad Batch. That's the problem. They have not established a coherent timeline.
Did. It's just in like, like our timeline, like 1975 and 17.
Oh, don't start with that crap.
And well, we're going over it because the BBY doesn't exist anymore.
Because people are apparently half retarded and can't figure a simple concept out, like the before Battle of Yavin and after Battle of Yavin.
Yeah, ABY and BBY.
Not freaking difficult, folks.
Yeah, it's not at all.
But no.
Yeah, Last of the Jedi.
Well, and then like I said with the episode, like with Omega being like the driver. I mean, she's the one that she happens to find out. Oh yeah, actually, you guys are being screwed. finds out the whole thing about the materials and their actual value. Like it was, oh, you guys are being screwed. Guess what? And then what was hilarious too was she happens to pull a droid off a ledge. I'm sorry, how is she going to have the body weight and everything to be able to do that when a droid would just be able to very stiffly stand in place and not lose its balance like that?
Yeah. I saw that.
I mean, how I'm just like that was like I think that was like part of my notes too. I'm like, how did she manage to pull a droid down? What?
Yeah,
it wasn't like she like somehow got it to lose its footing or anything like that. No, it was like she pulled the droid down with her.
Yeah. It's a beautiful move for a kid.
Yeah. How? Please. Inquiring minds would like to know.
I think we'd all like to know.
So, I mean, oh boy, this whole thing. And
then just at the right time, like impeccable timing, plot armor for. I mean, we've talked about how Nando had impeccable plot armor.
He was wearing literal plot armor.
Yeah, but this is plot armor, and it's because she falls in just impeccable timing. Where Hunter.
Well, they already set up that Hunter was getting the grappling gun thing ready just before Mako came out to try and put them in their place.
Yeah,
but he was already starting to prep that. All right, but I mean that's kind of his whole thing, right? And he's already shown. Yeah. He like the episode with the real Boba Fett, Fennec, when she came to kidnap the first time she came to kidnap Omega on that like city-ish planet, and he was doing a whole bunch of high flying acrobatics and stuff.
It's just the impeccable timing, man. Just impeccable.
No, you're not wrong. And this is another funny. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, for a minute there, I was hoping that she would just die.
You were having high hopes there, brother. High hopes for something like that to happen. Because, nobody ever really dies in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, no, I was hoping that she would just burn.
I mean, that would have been much more preferable and could have maybe gotten the Bad Batch to actually get away from Sid and go on some interesting missions. But no, they're still stuck with her. My brother made this point. He's like, from watching the episode and stuff, he's like, this is like a Captain Planet villain, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Mako basically, if anybody that grew up during the 90s, and I mean like born in the 80s, growing up during the 90s, watched Captain Planet, you'll get it. Because I mean, that was basically the quality of this villain. So cheesy, low tier. I can enjoy a good corny villain, but this was just not even an enjoyable corny. This was just kind of corny to the point of insulting for an audience. That was kind of what Captain Planet villains tended to do.
You're talking about Mako?
Mako, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not a good villain at all.
No, and I mean for 2 episodes to be worked around for this, it's like that was it.
Yeah,
just a gluttonous fat son of a gun that is, using a bunch of slave labor. Okay,
just bring Sid back.
God, are you actually asking for the lizard back now?
I mean, I would much. There's a. Oh, what is the episode? There's a episode in Batman animated series with Kevin Conroy. It's called the Forgotten Ones, and it's a bunch of people within Gotham are being kidnapped. Like people are just ended up missing and whatnot. And Bruce tries to investigate, and he ends up getting, kidnapped or, Batman at whatever you say. And they go to this, it's literally kind of almost identical to this, but they end up in a mine or whatnot. And the guy who's just,
I think I remember that one.
Did you remember that episode with the fat pig?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes, he's just a glutton in there, just shoving his face full of food. And
oh my god, they copied a Batman episode.
I mean, literally, it's literally almost, except for we don't know if these kids were kidnapped, but like the guy, is providing for his, well,
I mean,
he's
taking
the whole cut.
Yeah,
he's taking the whole cut for himself. But it's just this guy's just eating his just body weight. Like, I remember that episode. So that's what I thought. I was like, they literally took an episode from Batman animated series back in, and this came out in what, 94?
Something like that, yeah.
I got pulled up, man. But I was like, this it just makes no sense. And it doesn't advance the story in any way. The only thing that it advances is their agenda that they have. That's it.
Wait, what was the episode called again?
I think it's called The Forgotten Ones, I think is what it is.
I wonder what season it was.
Season 1, episode, I think, I want to say 14 maybe? No, it's not 14.
I want to say I'm familiar with that episode.
It's episode 8. Season 1, episode 8.
The Forgotten?
Yeah, The Forgotten. I said Forgotten Ones. The Forgotten. So it's almost very reminiscent.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I remember the disguise and stuff. That's right.
Yeah. So.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, are there differences between the episodes? Sure, but still at its core,
there's gonna be its differences, but at like the core of it, it's like, good lord.
Yeah, and yeah. So,
hey there, Brandon. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. He says, do you think the new Star Wars movie revealed at Star Wars Celebration this year could be either an untitled Taika Waititi? Oh God, I hope not. Movie or Knights of the Old Republic movie with Keanu Reeves as Darth Revan? Oh God. I hope no on both of those, quite frankly. I don't want Taika Waititi. Maybe, you know what? Actually, considering he's Mr. I'll destroy your mythos in a minute. Why not? See what damage he can do to Star Wars, and we can laugh at it after the fact. Otherwise, on any other given day, no, I would not want him doing a movie. It'll be curious though to see what does get announced. As for Knights of the Old Republic, again, another thing, I don't want them going anywhere near. I was very, very happy when they canceled the game remake, especially after hearing Sam Maggs was attached to it and helping rewrite it, considering the kind of crap she likes to forcibly insert into all her storylines. And I like Keanu. I've liked some of his movies. I like John Wick 1 mainly, but I think we could probably find a better Darth Revan than him. That might be a little more for the time, but I guess the problem is I can't think of anybody just because I don't know a lot of current actors right now.
Yeah.
I know he's got some of the look that people think of, and especially, that might have been where BioWare got the look for him for part of Sutor.
Well, I think he even said himself he wanted to. Well, I don't want to misquote, but I think he even said that he himself wanted to play.
Where did you see that?
Oh, well, he was on a talk show, if I remember right, because he's asked about
being in Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Graham Norton. I distinctly remember somebody asked him. I don't know if it was Graham Norton. I'll have to try to find it. I don't know if it was Graham Norton or.
The only thing I know of recently was that apparently he was helped get the new Constantine movie off the ground?
No, that was a. I'll have to find the interview because I think they were like asking him what. I don't know how you even spell Keanu.
Keanu, Keanu. And you could have just looked in the chat for Brandon. He spelled it out there.
Yeah. Okay, this. I think this is what I don't know if it's exactly. It wasn't an article, but it's saying Keanu Reeves being cast as a live-action Darth Revan has been the subject of many fan casts, and it could happen on the upcoming show, The Acolyte. I don't know if we. I'm looking for the actual video interview that I saw. Yeah, no, I'll have to find it, but yeah, somebody distinctly asked him, and because they brought up Constantine, but. I'll try to find it. Oh,
I
won't look at that one. That one's 9 minutes long.
I just know it just certainly seems like for Celebration, there hasn't been, at least maybe for the time, there's not a whole lot of hype, especially with the drop of a Star Wars movie.
Well, that's probably, but that's the thing. Yeah, that's probably where they're going to announce it. They'll be like, "Hey, we're going to do an old."
Oh, that would be the opportune time.
We're going to do a SUTOR movie, and it's going to be based off Revan, and Keanu Reeves is going to be the lead actor. And they're basically going to. What if they were going to take Sam Mag's vision and turn it into live action?
Hang on. Speaking of Darth Revan.
Oh, if you pull up what I think you're going to pull up.
Hang on. Let's see. Because I believe it was good old Stig.
Yep.
That found this one.
Yep. The Zalbar.
Yes. You know what I'm talking about. Hang on. Sorry.
It seemed like him and OG were getting a little cheeky with each other.
Really?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just how she types out, but
that's the thing with when it comes to text. This kind of you can't really read it. Yeah, don't. Yeah. So, I guess we're kind of off of that episode. Going on to some other topics.
I mean, I'm not even going to rate it because it's so bad.
We always jump back if we want to. So Stig caught this one, or European lore did. A bio at the back of the new Star Wars action figure. Pretty sure Revan was a guy in the expanded universe, or am I wrong? Yeah, so if you can see that, part of Zalbar's little biography here. You alone determined that the destiny of the entire galaxy in Star Wars Knights of the Republic, featuring iconic Star Wars locations and original characters like Zalbar, a Wookiee who aids Revan in their quest instead of his quest.
Yes. So now it comes down to what's grammatically correct and what was their intention in using the word there.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the thing.
Because
and OG, so I'll disagree with OG here. Because she says, how I see this is there means either male or female, meaning Revan is still binary since player can choose two options. Though canon, he is male. Yes. That
implies ownership, not whether she's grammatically incorrect because there implies ownership. There is not exclusive or inclusive to male or female. It can be, but it you have to determine who you're talking
there
about.
As in their mission, but I'm still in disagreement.
No,
because it would still just be Revan's mission, his mission, Zalbar's mission, his mission. That's it.
Well, unless she's saying that, like, because in the game you can choose whether to be male or female. And
in the
fine.
game, yes, but after the fact, that game though, Darth Revan got established as male thanks to the book by Drew Karpyshyn, which a lot of the times that's how I've seen OG Star Wars, she's made the point that the books, when they get to books, that's the canon. So using her rules, technically, yes, Revan male, and she says, canon, he's male, but ignoring the video game part completely, yes, he got established as male, and then even with Star Wars: The Old Republic, he was established as male, not some non-binary weirdo.
Yeah, no.
So, I mean, that would be the thing, though. For the movie, what would they do with Revan? Good God.
Non-binary.
I don't even imagine it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to be clear that I just want to understand what she was saying, because if there implies ownership, that it's their mission.
Right.
Like or ownership, or it has to do with that individual person. It's not exclusive to, has nothing to do with gender per se. Unless, if you're female or male, but yeah.
Yeah,
but I saw that.
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, I'm like, really? On the back of Zalbar's freaking.
I think that's not a toy at.
What's that?
I'm saying where they.
It's the Black Series. Yeah, Black Series. Star Wars toys.
No, I don't know. I need to go back to the tweet, because now that you brought that up, like, I want to read the whole handle, not the whole handle, but the whole thread, because when I was reading some of it looked like they were going back and forth, but I was kind of I wasn't really agreeing with OG, just because.
Well, because even Stig says should still be his.
Yeah,
since Revan is canonically male, and all products go by what was canon.
Right.
Yeah, they kind of had a back and forth, but I mean, it was just clarifying each other's words, basically. I'll send you the link in the private chat.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Stig though. Like, if we're gonna be, EU purists, and I'm not calling OG out, but I'm saying if that's what we're going to be, EU purists, and go off of canon, then we need to stick with canon. And in canon, he was a male, not a female. Like, you can have a female character in the game, that's fine. That's your choice. It's an RPG, and you have the means to do it. But just because you do it in the game does not change the fact that in canon he was a male, and it should be his, not theirs.
Yeah. Well, that's that's sometimes the thing. It's like,
because it can get confusing with this day and age. And the whole stupid.
That is like, I love when games have a character creation and stuff like that. But when you are trying to establish a certain canon, a certain lore, that's where this gets really messy. And sometimes, I think you just need to pick of the two and go for it. Just so you know, like, what character is what.
Yeah, I agree.
Make it easy on all of us, please. But yeah, that was certainly
pull up the article here real quick. If you want to go through, I don't know if we have anything on Discord. There's a couple ones I think I want to go through.
Absolutely. Well, here was the thing, because I put it as part of the topics, and we mentioned this last week. If we owned Star Wars, what would you do? How would you go about running it and stuff like that? Have you put any thought into that? You're muted.
What? Sorry, I had a phone call. Sorry. Am I back on? Okay.
Yeah, you're back on.
Sorry. Let me go to Discord really quick. Hold on. I thought I posted. I can't remember if I posted in this.
What was the article?
Well, maybe I forgot to put. I don't know now. Did I post it in here?
The last thing I had on here was from you. Was the OG Twitter post?
Was that the one that
about So now Disney is honoring what George wanted?
No. Damn it. I'm pulling a 10. I can't remember. I don't know if I saved it or not.
I was gonna say, no, I'm just kind of checking through the Discord really quick to see if he posted it in the wrong spot.
I think I probably did.
But I don't see it anywhere, so.
Yeah, I don't think I saved it. Darn it. No, I can't remember what it was, which one it was. See, when I find stuff, that's why I put in Discord, because I'll end up forgetting.
That's why I usually do that too. So so I don't forget it, and I have it for when we do the show.
Well, there's still some ones in here we can go over. Maybe the ones that you posted, because I gotta try to figure out which one I want to go over.
Hang on. Just kind of fiddling around, getting this stuff kind of. I'm wondering what you were wanting to go over.
Maybe.
But
it was canceled. It was something with the panel. I
have that article actually saved too.
That was one of them, because that's what. Oh.
Yeah, let me bring that up.
There's actually like a motion to cancel it.
Well, yeah, so over here on Bounding on the Comics, they had the article, YouTuber Open Airlock Policy calls on Lucasfilm and Star Wars Celebration to cancel drag queen grooming panel. YouTube Open Airlock Policy so it's just reiterating the point. Twitter user That Gay Jedi confirmed a pro-grooming panel entitled Exploring Star Wars Through the Art of Drag, which we discussed a week or two ago, 2 weeks ago. Was confirmed to take place during the upcoming Star Wars celebration being held in London, England at the beginning of April. Are we sure this isn't an April Fool's joke? He posted to Twitter, I am humbled, grateful, and over the forest moons to announce that my Star Wars celebration panel with Pencil Scrathen and David Sigurani titled Star Wars is a Drag. Exploring Star Wars Through Drag has been officially approved. We can't wait to share this with you all. You bunch of weird little degenerate weirdos. Accompanying this announcement, he featured an image with a more detailed description about the panel. It reads, the long and rich history. Okay, so yeah, this is all stuff we've already gone over.
Okay, yeah.
And continues. Best characters and bodies. Yeah, we went over this part for his weird shit, and like it was like we discussed and everything. As we've known it, it's a sexualized fetish for this whole drag event, and has definitely no place at a Star Wars celebration. Even I was listening to Tim and Greg talk about it on the spacing from last night, and like they said, if you want to do this, do it at Pride event or whatever, just not at Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like it was, we saw that how the Star Wars official account was all for it. We can't wait to see it. So now here we go. Now here's where we want to be. Now YouTuber Open Airlock Policy is calling for Lucasfilm, Disney, Star Wars Celebration to cancel the panel and encourage individuals to contact Star Wars Celebrations, Disney, and Lucasfilm to cancel the panel. Open Airlock Policy states, here's the call to action. We're going to put some links in the description of this video. We want everyone who sides with us to go to the accounts of Star Wars Celebration, of official Star Wars, who praised and said they couldn't want to see the panel, or who wouldn't want to see this panel. This has no place in Star Wars. He later states, so we are going to provide the account's website, and you can go out there and you can let them know how you feel. And we want to get this message right now to that gay Jedi. Hey, man, call off the panel. We implore you, call off the panel and have it somewhere else at some other event where it belongs. Not an event branded as Star Wars. Call off the event. Do it. Not only is he encouraging the panel to get axed from Star Wars Celebration, but he also justly criticizes that gay Jedi's claim that Asajj Ventress and Padme are in drag. Open airlock policy notes it's illogical saying that Queen Amidala is drag. Asajj Ventress is drag. None of it makes sense. It's weird, and quite frankly, we have the take that it is grooming at an event with kids, and that was part of what we discussed on this as well, and what he talked about on his own show. It's unlikely Disney or Lucasfilm will cancel the panel, and that's kind of the big part right there. As the company has made it abundantly clear, they do indeed want to groom young children into disordered and hedonistic lifestyles. Ooh, they're going right for it.
Yeah.
Former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, during his fight with the state Florida, bill banning schools of teaching children. That whole nonsense, because the struggle is much bigger than it. This is now just kind of going off into the weeds into this territory. So yeah, I mean, that was I meant to watch Open Airlock's video, but I just did not get to it to kind of get the meat of what he went over for that. So I mean, even he made the point last night that like Tuscan Greg would take the point of no, let it go. Accelerate this bitch, and that is kind of where I'm at with it. I'm at that where it's like just called, yeah, let them do it. I want everybody to see this, to see how weird and far they've sunk and degenerate they've gotten, that they're pushing this, that they are pushing this onto kids and stuff like that. Let them see it. On the other hand, I would say do your best to try and get it axed. That's what they would certainly do if there was some kind of like pro-gun thing at Star Wars, which almost would have more of a place to talk about the weapon blasters and stuff like that of Star Wars, the inspiration of the weapons behind Star Wars. They would get that probably axed in a heartbeat.
Right.
So it is. I agree.
They use stun instead of actual.
Well, it's just I do agree with I am of the aspect of use their tactics against them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no there's the days are gone of trying to have any kind of middle ground. So I'd say do what you can. I just think I'm just on the acceleration side to a degree.
There's no way that they're going to get it canceled, though. They're not
Sadly.
I mean, you could sign whatever petitions you want. They'll deem it.
They'll push forward with it. Yeah.
They'll deem the petition as hate speech and harassment, and
right. They'll then just use it to fuel themselves to go. Oh, look at the
you're transphobic,
bigots are coming for us,
and blah 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 and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like, and it has nothing to do with that. It just comes down to, well, dare I say, morality.
Well, and hopefully there are the people out there that are willing to listen.
It's just,
I think you can hope for.
Yeah, it's just divisive.
And hail to you, Vader fanatic. Hope you're doing well today. Thanks for jumping in and watching the show. Appreciate it.
Well, on a positive note, every day I get on Twitter and I will see if I've been blocked by Wikipedia yet, and I've yet to be blocked by them.
Is that a positive or a negative? I don't know.
Well, it's a negative because I just keep hoping that they'll somehow just get onto the show and listen to us and block us. But actually, once we get off the show, they'll block us.
I hate to break it to you, buddy. They blocked me.
Did they really?
Yes. See
what? How they block you? What did you do?
I'm guessing it was when I shared when I clipped out our discussion about the drag event. That was probably when they smacked me with the block.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm blocked.
That's very interesting.
I think it's funny as hell. I mean,
why have they not?
I've otherwise never interacted with that channel.
That's funny.
But they they
I'm gonna tweet at them. Why did you block Fractured Filter? Why did you block Fractured Filter?
Why'd you block my buddy?
The people are asking.
How'd you do it?
Ugh. Yeah, that's funny. Watch after the show, they're gonna block me.
Oh, if you start tweeting at them, they might.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Who are you?
Who even are you?
You're not worth being blocked." Though they go around just going through people's friend, like the followers, and just block everybody.
I mean, yeah, they'll probably use their own. I'm like it was. I was surprised I wasn't blocked for the longest time. Considering I would have figured they used a blockchain and would have gotten me just via that.
Was there another? Let's see. We'll go through this one. Yeah, so it looks like we went through that whole panel. They're not going to cancel it. Blah blah blah. Did we go over? Oh,
hey, Sentinel, and yeah, shout out to JK Rowling. Sure.
Oh yeah, shout out to you. That's funny. Oh, that's why I'm in the video streams.
The Hogwarts legacy has blown up beyond what it should have been. But
bro, can we talk about that really quick? How everybody's on this Star Wars, this Hogwarts legacy?
Sure,
train?
I mean
everybody. I don't get it. I've not played the game. Probably won't play the game.
I currently have it in a download.
You would.
I do, but I'm not paying for it.
LimeWire.
But it is kind of funny that this game that really, I mean, it was. I think we talked about this too. That it was going to be a big game regardless, just because of the intellectual property it's a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was going to make on that. And so I think it's only really a small added effect with the little goofy campaign that happened behind it that I think we had talked about. But otherwise, I mean, the game was going to blow up regardless. It was going to be big. And I mean, from what I understand too, the only author to piss off and make huge culture wins off the far religious right, the far politically correct left. I mean, I don't know if she has gotten it. I mean, I don't know if there are any W's to take out of it. Cause I mean, even as, who was it? Oh God, I'm forgetting the guy's name. He did a review of the game and he was pointing out a lot of the far leftist ideology that is in the game, that is in there and stuff. And I was like, oh Christ, I'm glad I didn't pay for it. And also just how some of it is very watered down. But a very beautiful looking game.
Well, that's one thing I've heard, that the graphics are really, really nice, but apparently you can get a I don't know if this is just a fake or not, but apparently you get a Glock 21 in the game.
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't know if it's a mod.
I mean, I think that might have been I think that might have been a mod.
I don't know. I saw it on Facebook, and Facebook is where I get all my news from. So it's got to be.
There's got to be correct, right? I mean,
I'm just asking. Like, I mean, it's Facebook, right? They wouldn't tell lies on Facebook.
No, not at
dude.
all.
I'm literally telling you, the character was rolling with a Glock 21. Maybe it's a Glock 19. One of the two.
I think I saw that like, mod. They replaced replaces the wand with a gun.
Yeah, and it was he hit the avocadabra or whatever, and killed somebody with the Glock.
Sentinel says, I never liked the books, but I remember faith leaders on TV 20 years ago saying she was using Harry Potter to spread Wicca religion to children, worship the devil, etc. I've gone, yeah, and I've listened to the books. It's just like, no, I mean, I get not really a religion aspect to be worshipped out of the books, but I think the funny thing is too, like I never caught wind of that stuff going on. Like I only heard about any time people were bashing on video games and trying to start that, but even when you look into that, a lot of the hard like push for censorship was coming from the left even 20 years ago. Video games. People like Hillary Clinton and oh god, now I can't remember some of the names from it. But she was of course a big one that was trying to ban violent video games at the time during the 90s. And god, I used to try and keep these names right into my brain. There's a couple of other.
They're the same people that wanted to ban Doom and Gears of War.
Doom. Well, it was so for the 90s. Yeah, it was Doom. Yeah, Duke Nukem, GTA 3 when that came into the early aughts. God, let's see. God, I hate when my brain just farts completely, and I normally like had these names like right in my brain for such a moment of bringing it up, and then I completely forgot.
Were they game developers or they were people that were trying to?
No, they were politicians.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Mortal Kombat, Duke. So Mortal Kombat, Doom, and stuff like that. No, Senator Joseph Lieberman and Senator Herbert Kohl were two that were also trying to do major attacks on video games. So a lot of times they want to say it was they always wanted to say it was the religious right, but the ones that were pushing the heavier legislation and stuff were
they're
like that.
They're religious, right? The people that are religious or Christians. And speaking as a Christian, didn't like it because it is sorcery, it is witchcraft, and obviously that's not a thing. But yeah, that's the thing, man. Like there's more. Everybody paints it's the alt-right and the religious fanatics and the Christians. There's all these people that are the ones that are, creating all this stink. And it's like, when you look at it, it's like more of the left than anything. Like, yeah, there's both sides of it. Right. But
I've seen it more like for the, like, even myself, not much of a religious person. I've always just kind of like reflectively looked back on it as more of, it was trying to be cautionary towards certain things that, yes, could potentially be harmful. Media does have an effect on people. We have seen that with the way they've weaponized it in college institutions and stuff like that, through courses and everything, through Star Wars, you can't say, oh, they're trying to groom kids with this media, and then say media doesn't have an effect on people on top of it. No, you can't have it both ways. It has an effect. You can't, unfortunately, it's something you can't ignore because there are people that are susceptible to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He goes on to say, and now you got the new faith leaders with their pronouns in the bios saying how she's a transphobe and all this other shit. Yeah, I mean that's been the pretty hilarious part, because they turned on her pretty quick, even though she herself has said she would any day march with them for whatever rights. Just she believes in them having a separation for certain things like sports and bathrooms and stuff.
It's so funny because it's like, we've talked about like Mark Hamill, who's for the most part has been a beloved patriarch of, not the patriarch, but like in Star Wars, right? It's like it's Mark Hamill and everybody loves Mark Hamill, and then the minute like he comes out and says something, everybody the certain groups on maybe they're on one side of the fence versus the other turn on him. They take what he says out of context or whatnot. And did he put his foot in his mouth? Maybe not. Did he say something that they didn't like? Sure. Right. But it's just funny if you go against the status quo.
Very mildly at that.
You're cast out.
Your persona non grata.
Yeah. Right, you can sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, I believe in all this, and I'll stand with you. I'll lock arms with you." But you say that you don't believe. You say like, "I can respect your right to do whatever you want to do, but it doesn't make it right. Then they're like, well, they'll just throw you out in the streets and they'll with their pitchforks and they'll want to come after you. And it's like, believe what you want to believe. That's your right. You can do what you want, but it's just so funny that like you go against the grain and they attack you. So it's like if you're not indoctrinated and you don't follow exactly what they want you to follow and believe what they want to believe and go along with what they want to push, then you're the enemy. You become the enemy.
Very quickly.
Yeah, it's like J.K. Rowling. Like we talked about last year. Like she said that she would stand with what was in the article. Like she didn't agree with the bathroom thing.
It's either that or the sports and stuff like that. I mean, it's very, very mild stuff that would, should make sense to any rational person, but
yeah, rational. Have as white men compete against men and women compete against women because biologically they're different.
Yep. There's differences.
And that's what irritates me about it because it's not subjective. It's an objective fact. There are differences between male and female. Males cannot become female and females cannot become males. If you don't like it, deal with it. It's the truth. There's a saying, despite how people might think of the guy, I do like Ben Shapiro in the sense where he says facts don't care about your feelings.
Right. Yeah.
The one thing, and it's just like, it's just so funny. Like, she stated an opinion. She stated her opinion on a matter, and then they just come after her and call her all this and that, despite her saying that she would lock arms with him. So it's like,
yeah,
because she has one minute difference. Now they're going to come. They're at her front door with pitchforks.
Now she's a turf.
And it's like, well, you can't wish hate. You can't talk hate speech against people. That's not right. And then they're these same people that say that you can't do that. They're like, well, we're going to kill you, or we hope that you die.
They wish death upon you and all the most horrendous things imaginable.
Probably worse than who was it? Was it Salvatore who wrote it was the book where he dropped a planet on Han and Chewie's ship, or he dropped a planet
on basically on Chewie.
Worse. Like it's almost worse than that. And this guy was getting death letters. Like probably had to hire personal security because he was afraid he was gonna. And the guy's not smart. Let's be honest. You don't do that to Chewie. You don't drop.
Hey, you gotta have a big death. Might as well kill the big furball.
Like you just don't, man. Especially Chewie. Like you want to do Zalbar? Fine. I was never a fan of Zalbar.
Well, Zalbar only existed in the Coder era, so kind of hard to bring him.
They still had planets that they could have dropped on him, but I don't know, man. It's that whole subject's just
No, it's a hell of a thing to step into. That's for sure.
Yeah,
especially for a first time like seeing any of it. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I wonder if she had if she had anything to do with the development of the game, or they just
probably. Probably not. As far as I've known, she's been kind of hands off unless like certain things have been brought to her. But I haven't looked into the development of the game, so I just don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what's been talked about, what's been or whatever was discussed between the company and her and what was worked out. But other than her probably getting royalties, that's probably, but other than working that part out, probably.
Yeah. Wonder how much that game's made so far.
Oh God. If I remember right, it got up stupid high.
Diablo 4 is gonna blow it out of the water.
You're joking, right?
No, I'm being 1000%. Are you kidding me right now? You think that Diablo 4 is not gonna blow the Hogwarts Legacy out of the water?
Gross total revenue for Hogwarts Legacy, $850 million.
That's chump change compared to what
I don't think Diablo 4 is gonna make that.
Listen, just because you don't like Diablo 3, because you think it's a rip on 2, which is not accurate, by the way. It's not a rip on 2. It's probably
It's a
one of the
retread.
best. It's not a retread. It's probably one of the best. I
retread.
mean, it goes probably 1, 3. 1 and 3 were probably the best.
Wow.
2's just not.
Now you're just trying to get me pissed off.
No, I'm not. I mean, even Chief and I were talking about it the other day on Shenanigans. We're like, Diablo 2 is just dog water. And I know because my company's Dogwater LLC.
So you'd be the best to
No,
know
I'm
on
sorry.
what's dog water and what's
INC,
not, huh?
Incorporated. What? Listen, I know dog water when I see it. You don't think it's going to hit that?
But here's the thing. Like, even my brother and I talked about this. From Diablo 1 to Diablo 2, they kept the same character. They kept some of the same roster, but then added on to it. Diablo 3 removed playable classes and sprinkled in wannabe versions of previous ones. So there's my problem with 3 too, because I didn't have my druid and I was very upset. The monk was okay, but they didn't have the druid. And 4 looks like they're kind of doing the same stuff of removing classes that they don't want to bring in from 3 into 4. I'm like, well, you guys are retarded.
I don't know.
But I don't think they're gonna, considering
there's a lot of hype behind Diablo 4. I've heard a lot of people talking about
Is there really?
That's what I've heard, dude.
All right. I just don't know.
I think you're just biased.
Possibly.
You just don't like Diablo 3 was, not good, and Diablo 4, and I also heard they're making another Gears game, but Marcus Phoenix is not going to be in it, and so I'm not.
Yeah, didn't they kill him off or make him old, and so he couldn't participate?
They didn't kill him off. He's older. He's like married with Anna. Who is he married to? Married to Anna, whatever her name was in the game. But
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't play
older.
through it, so I don't know.
Such an amazing game. What's wrong with you, depraved child?
There's a bunch of walking refrigerators that took poor cover
Easy. I will throw this
struck a
respirator
nerve,
at your face, you shyster. The Gears of War games minus Judgment Day were just probably the best. Much better than anything Sony put out, because really the only thing Sony put out was Spider-Man and Destiny. Destiny was trash.
It was definitely very disappointing. Yeah.
Destiny, it was. Here's the thing: when I go to when I join a legendary event, thinking I'm going to get the legendary orbs. I think they're orange orbs, and all I get is white and green. Pretty not happy about it.
I was disappointed from Destiny, especially from the aspect that it was being Bungie developed it, and they didn't even include local 2-player co-op.
Yeah,
and I'm like, how do you mess this up? You're Bungie. All of the Halo games that you made pretty much had local co-op, and you didn't include that with this freaking game, and it was just, I just found it really lazy on their part. And you know what? I'm not going to give them any benefit of doubt. They should have included that part of the gameplay. And the only reason I have Destiny 2 is because I got it for free from when they were a part of Activision Blizzard, and before they left, I think they were giving out the game for free.
Yeah.
And the people in charge of Bungie are freaking stupid. They keep going from one worse company than the next. I mean, they might as well just stayed with Microsoft at the end of the day.
Who owns Bungie?
Last I knew, they were independent.
Are they independent?
They might have gotten bought up by somebody else again, or they went to somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's probably not going to make what Hogwarts Legacy. Oh, excuse me. It's probably not going to make it 100,000. You say 800 million?
850 million.
Yeah, it's
Hogwarts
probably,
Legacy
probably
for its
won't
gross.
make that. What is an average?
And it still hasn't released on Xbox.
Yeah.
Series.
Well,
or
hold
the
on though. You could,
Xbox
but these are
One and
pre-order sales,
PS4 and the Switch.
it hasn't released, but is that you can still buy it on the Xbox? It's just not released. I wonder, out of that 850 million, how many people or how many dollars are actually from Xbox sales and
Who
PS5
knows?
sales?
That was that was the gross, and that was everything. That's the sales combined of every system.
Oh, Nintendo's
So
gonna blow up, dude.
so that's Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So that's including basically all the new current gen systems. So
Yeah,
PS5,
it's
Xbox
not
Series
including
X,
Steam
and
Deck.
PC.
Not
No,
Steam
the Steam
Deck.
Deck. Steam Deck doesn't count. It just counts as PC sales.
Yeah.
PC gaming sales. So
Once you think they'll release it for Nintendo?
they're supposed to, yeah.
That in itself is gonna bring in a pretty penny.
Oh, absolutely. Depending on what's done
So
for
I don't
it.
think
Yeah.
this is the first like Harry Potter game, is it not?
No, they've had other Harry Potter games that were
Have they?
they were more like movie tie-ins, and then they had like the Lego Harry Potter games.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is like the first like real kind of also standalone self. So this is kind of like when Knights of the Old Republic came out, because this is set like however many hundreds of years before the Harry Potter whole thing began. So they're in a time frame that doesn't have a lot of lore established. They got some freedom to play around in the sandbox, to do some things and put together this game. And that's the smartest thing you can do when you're also making like a player created game, or where you create your character and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good idea and just to kind of have freedom to tell a story. I still think they missed out on the opportunity to actually have your character go through from like year one through, but at the same time, I understand why they didn't, because by year 5, that's when they're already doing all the more interesting spells anyways. So they kind of wanted to drop it right in. And I mean, at this point too, like if they did a sequel, all they'd have to do is basically copy and paste like what they've already built for the world, and then just hopefully, because I heard like some of the picking like the different houses of Slytherin and Gryffindor and stuff like that, it's just basically aspects of what different color robes do you want to wear, which is really unfortunate, because that was kind of the thing I was like, ooh, that could be really fun and interesting if you get to really interact with the people in your different houses and stuff like that.
Is it MMO?
No, it's a single player open world game.
Okay.
RPG, action RPG.
What if they made this an MMO? Wouldn't that be crazy?
I'm actually surprised they haven't, but again, if this company was the one to do it, they certainly have the template for certainly the Hogwarts, castle and all that sort of stuff. That's why I say, like, now that they've got things built and they've told a story in this world in this time frame, they could very easily now, like I say, just flesh a lot more like story aspects out, maybe do some more better character interactions between the player character and the NPCs and stuff like that. They could really expand upon this if they're smart with it, but that's all depending on, I mean, this has clearly been very successful. So
yeah, I just think it could have gone to the net if they had just. I'm surprised that they just didn't do it MMO though, man. That would be like
MMOs are still very niche
really
genre of games. Yeah.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They always have been. And especially with the prospect of potentially having to pay like $15 a month for a subscription just to
people
play.
Would do that though.
Oh, I know people would, considering probably how much they pay to go to Universal just to go to the Harry Potter thing.
Yeah.
So, and get their butterbeers and all that. So, yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of for the game itself is that, yeah, they could definitely push things forward, make it, hopefully do a little more interesting stuff with it. And maybe next time actually include Quidditch as the first thing. or actually in the game, because I heard they didn't include the big sport
They
thing
did
for
not.
the game. No, they didn't. I think it was possibly going to be released with some DLC, but I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with that.
What would they not do that for? That's crazy.
I don't know, but for some reason they didn't.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna pay $79. People are paying $79 for this game. Like, and here's the thing, man.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna pay that for
I have paid money for games. Like back in the day, GameStop, when you could like pre-order, the special bundles and everything.
Yeah.
The collectible stuff. Like I've mentioned, my brother ordered, I think, Gears 2.
Oh, that
Gears
was
War
the whole
2
big thing of the old days of pre-orders and stuff like that.
Oh
Was
yeah,
getting
you
like,
got.
I remember getting the Infamous 2,
Mhm.
Infamous 2 special pre-order edition, blah blah blah, and it came with the little statuette of Cole and everything. Unfortunately, my cat knocked it off my nightstand, and the damn dog chewed on it. So unfortunately, I
Oh
lost that.
no.
But that was the sort of stuff that you could get back in the day for some of these pre-order things.
Yeah, he ordered, I think, Gears. I ordered Gears of War 1 and got the old the cog tags, and I'm pretty sure I got, I think, a statue of Marcus Phoenix, but he ordered the second one, and he got the Retro Lancer, like a life-size. Right, I have the Retro Lancer, but I miss GameStop and back in the day of like them being able, because that's when games were good, man. Like you hardly get good games these days. It's so funny.
You basically get a game that's in at best beta stages. It's not, it's maybe just out of alpha, and you're just basically testing the game for
But
them.
the quality sucks. Like I remember that games back in the day, man, like took you for, like, dude, I honestly, like, again, I get it, I'm biased, but I remember the first time I played through Jedi Outcast, it took me so long to beat Jedi Outcast on not hard, because and I just felt like it was just thorough. They were thoroughly done. They were well designed. They were fun, and you got
totally
bang for your buck. Like this game wasn't a 10-hour game, right? Maybe it was. I don't know how long actually the game was, but it didn't feel like it was just like a 3-4 hour game, And mind you, like Jedi Outcast, there was no like really add-ons to it. Like there was no like it was just, you went through the levels and you could find the secret areas and stuff like that, but there wasn't any like add-ons to it, if that makes sense. I mean, there was multiplayer and that kind of stuff, but yeah, like Jedi Academy, again, I know I'm biased, but these games back in the day were like, and even like, like Gears of War, man, they're just, you got bang for your buck.
Oh, absolutely.
You play a game today and it's like, it's a 5-hour game, and you can beat it on, I don't know.
Well, depending on how long the cinematics are.
Well, and that's the thing, man. Like, yeah, and the cinematics were like, it almost like Outcast, almost like I was watching a continuation of the original trilogy. Like, when you're on Nar Shaddaa and you're talking to Lando, it's like you're talking, after the events of Return of the Jedi, or because I would assume this happened. Well, I assume this is after Empire Strikes Back, right? And because Luke's, he's got his green lightsaber, so this is after Return of the Jedi.
Wait, what?
Jedi Outcast.
Oh, Jedi Outcast is well after.
Jedi. So I don't know.
Luke has his temple and stuff too. And
yeah. But even so I don't know. Unless I don't know. I just got Elden Ring. I don't know if you've heard of Elden Ring.
I have heard of Elden Ring. Yes, it's another very popular one.
Yeah, I just bought it, and it's so hard. It might be an actual, turn out to be a decent game. I don't know. I'm already like 10 hours.
People have been raving about it for when it came out.
I think we should do that for Sunday Night Shenanigans.
Can you play that game
Yep,
co-op?
yep. It is co-op. Well, as long it's not cross-platform, but so it is
Oh, well,
co-op.
there's
Though.
the problem because I don't have an Xbox.
Well, but I have a computer, see, so we can get it on the computer.
Oh, yes.
So, but that'd be interesting, and you'd actually probably hear me say potty words because I get frustrated playing. That would be some shenanigans, though. If we could get all three of us, that'd be fun. I think it'd be fun. It's so hard though.
I've heard it's kind of like a intro for some. It can be for some people an intro to the Dark Souls series too.
That's what I've heard. It's like a cross between like Dark Souls and Elder Scrolls. Did Elder Scrolls do Dark Souls? Is that that's not?
No, I think they're just kind of using that as just because of the medieval themes and stuff like that.
So,
that's what Dark Souls is kind of already medieval themes. So,
did I miss an article? Did I read something that they're releasing the movies at Celebration, the next Star Wars movies?
No.
Did you see that?
We just had somebody. We had Brandon Tran in the chat that's mentioned the possibility of movies being announced at Star Wars Celebration.
It's an actual tweet I saw that they were going to release like the next movies, the next phase of movies or whatever. I like the word phase because that's what Marvel uses.
Let's see.
Maybe I was dreaming it when I was wanting the Celebration to just be canceled this year.
If only, right? I'm looking at the Star Wars,
which is funny because Kathleen Kennedy herself said that she want to go away from trilogies. She said that it's not that we would not ever do them, but they're trying to that we want to move away from the trilogies.
I thought they kept trying to get away from Jedi and Skywalkers and stuff like that, and even in freaking Mandalorian, we've got the Force and freaking Skywalkers that show up. It's like, really? No. So you're not really trying to get away from it that quickly.
I think they want to, but they know that they can't come up with anything interesting themselves.
No, and they're pretty reliant on their own on trying to get that nostalgia bait as best as possible. I'm not seeing anything on the
I know. I probably
Twitter.
I haven't slept great this week, so maybe I just dreamt it, or I thought I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad. I got sick on Wednesday. Wednesday morning. No, Wednesday night. And Thursday, I was just dead. Yeah. I meant to get a lot more stuff extra done, especially to kind of prep for this, and I just had not. And then I was back at work.
I just don't think there's a lot of. I don't think no, and I think this week there just wasn't. I just didn't see a lot. And again, like I'm still recovering myself, and I know that you weren't feeling good, but I just didn't see a lot to cover this week. It's like some weeks are really good, and other weeks there's just not a lot. So.
Well, it's certainly enough that encourages us to want to talk about it too. That's always another thing.
Well,
what is it that really kind of incites that flair in us that wants to kind of jump into it?
I get excited because these episodes are just so bad. So it's like we can really just review them for 5 minutes and then because that's literally like all it takes. Like.
Well, next week at least we'll have both Bad Batch and Mandalorian to go into.
I was gonna say, are we gonna do? We'll just try to do, but we're just gonna do both. We'll
just do both. Yeah. Or because I mean I just figure we might as well just
I don't want to do Mando and then have to go back to Bad Batch.
I don't want to have to go back either. That's why I think we should just double up while it's still going, and we'll just knock them out.
Yeah.
So then
I don't want because Mando's gonna be 8 weeks, and then we'll get done with Mando, and then we're gonna have to do another 6 weeks of trying to catch up with Bad Batch. So that's 14 weeks of just hell.
Well, and there is something that I thought was kind of interesting that I saw Sentinel bring up. I don't know if he's still in the chat. But I saw him bring this up on Twitter. Well, it's Dave Filoni, Clone Wars. He says he posted this even before the first episode of TCW aired, the Clone Wars. The expanded universe fans were right on the money about the disaster this would cause to the timeline and lore. Leland Chi, I believe, telling us it was Dave complaining about having to work within Star Wars continuity in the first place is hilarious. So he shows these old, it looks like forum posts. People talking about this. Come on. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but mainly go by his highlights. Like he says in this first post, or let's see, is there any hope that his barely filled era will be when the series is finally worked into continuity, or barring that, will we be seeing everything before when Anakin became a knight somehow compressed into a matter of a few months rather than 2.5 years? And then apparently that's where Leland Chi talks about compress the timeline is our approach, though I'm not expecting a revised official timeline to be published anytime soon. And it says, I'll start with Dave Filoni's quote from Comic-Con. Every now and then you run into a Boba Fett scenario where we didn't know know he was a clone and the Jaster and Mariel, and now he's not, and now he's a clone, and then we call Leland Chi, and it's his problem. Since early in the development of the series, licensing has worked with animation in targeting any potential continuity discrepancies with existing Clone Wars EU, and so far, any seemingly major issues have been dealt with by using what I see as minimal retconning. So yeah, even from then, they were starting to retcon stuff. Compressing the whole timeline will throw just about every source since episode 2 out the line, surely, and that'll cause continuity errors everywhere, from the major obvious to smaller ones like births, marriages, deaths. He replies, "Trust me, it's not a decision we're taking lightly." So he claims, and at some point we'll rework the official timeline so you can see how everything fits. A person was saying, tasty, and what is that minimal retconning supposed to be? I do hope it doesn't mean that every novel and comic that includes Anakin, Obi-Wan, and some time reference will be moved to end canon. Everything, and he replies, everything's staying end canon, as we've always done. Any specific inconsistencies will be dealt with case by case as needed. And yeah, so even from the get, they were dealing with that, and the fans were already, jumping on it and going, what the hell? Which I think is pretty interesting that it was a problem even from the get-go and people were worried about it. There's some spitfiring going on down in there. Like it was, Lucasfilm should have never given Filoni the key to the city after its disastrous Clone Wars film, which not only it was a box office bomb, but also started the damage control cycle for Anakin and the horrendous introduction of Ahsoka Tano. And yeah, that was kind of the beginning of the end at that point. And like some people were also saying, one of the worst decisions Lucas made was hiring Dave Filoni.
1000%.
What was it? I said it was like we could have had actually oh god, I'm forgetting his name. Gennady Tartakovsky. He could have been the one in charge, but due to certain problems with like either scheduling or something like that, or where he'd have to possibly uproot his family or whatever, they weren't working with him. But he very well could have been the guy who already did the Clone Wars animated series very, very spectacularly, but unfortunately he lost out, I guess, and Dave Filoni was the cowboy hat wearing dog humper that he is. He was the one that won out.
I don't.
I made a comment too. I remember making a comment. I'm like, why can't we go to that universe and live there where he got the job instead of Filoni? God dang it.
I don't know what if George, like, you say to be a fly on the wall, like
I know,
if George was just checked out, or if he actually did see, he's like, well, Filoni's been with me for this many years, he's it's in good hands, or I mean, I don't know, man, because then to say that, then that brings George's judge of character into question, because you think if you spent 7 years with somebody, like, you should know that, unless they're just playing, like, unless they're just like,
he could be playing
dude.
politics, man. I
Like,
mean, he
like
could just be very good at it, and he
yeah.
just knows how to weasel his way around.
Yeah, well, he loves animals.
That's just it.
Yeah, man, I don't know. They gotta go, dude. I mean, and here's the thing: Star Wars will never ever get. Well, this article though that I think OG had brought up is like, now Disney is trying to go. No, I saw an article. It was like Disney's now wanting to go the route that George wanted to go with the prequel villains, I think is what it said, or sequel villains. I thought it said prequel villains. That doesn't make sense. Maybe it was sequel villains. It was something they wanted to go in George's route now. But I saw it and I thought,
is it the Screen Rant?
Yeah, Screen Rant, which you always gotta be careful, Screen Rant. But
oh yeah, they're a shyster freaking company.
Yeah.
I hope they go the way of Gawker one day.
Yeah.
They just need somebody to drop that leg, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hogan did to Gawker. We need it done.
But I saw it. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I guess OG Star said. So now Disney is honoring what George wanted. The ideas he shared in the Star Wars archives was just that, ideas. A lot of what was seen in the EU already happened with Luke and Leia. Idea with Maul and Talon was redirected to a game called Battle of the Sith before the buyout.
No.
And then get rid of that. And then yeah, from Screen Rant. Star Wars canon supports George Lucas sequel trilogy villain plan. New reveals in the Star Wars. So this might have been what you were thinking of for the movies stuff.
Yeah.
Original plan for the sequels with crime syndicates serving as the galaxy's next threat. And I mean, that was kind of the thing that, the EU did get a bit away from the whole Sith Jedi stuff. Yeah, he may have had it in like some of the games, like Jedi Outcast and whatnot. But I mean, otherwise, it wasn't a big focal point like it was in the main 6 movies.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the Banite Sith. So yeah, new addition to Star Wars canon further supports George Lucas's original villain plans for the sequel trilogy. Star Wars creator George Lucas initially planned massive crime syndicates in the galaxy's underworld to be the next significant threat after the end of the Empire. And again, we kind of got that through the Thrawn trilogy, with some of the criminal syndicates being out there and doing different stuff while Imperial remnants were kind of clinging to what ounce of power they still had, and Thrawn comes along and kind of reorganizes them and gets their shit back in order. Disney ultimately took another direction, of course, instead choosing to feature a resurgent First Order, and ultimately the return of Palpatine. However, it's striking that recent Star Wars Disney Plus TV shows and even tie-in comics have aligned with Lucas's vision in focusing on criminal organizations. The comics have been made Darth Maul's Crimson Dawn, a rival of the Sith themselves. Please. They should have never resurrected Darth Maul. That was stupid and pointless. And apparently it was only probably to help ratings for the Clone Wars show because it wasn't financially viable.
Yeah.
At least so I heard from Tuscan Bob, Greg. He was the one that talked about it last night. I was like, oh, that's some interesting bit of news. It makes sense considering how I think Lucas is probably the one fully funding it.
Yeah.
The The latest example can be seen in Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 10, in which Clone Force 99 attempted to retrieve their ship. That was not a much of an organization, though.
Yeah.
Retrieve their ship from it had been stolen by Benny Barrow, a thief from a mining crew, by the brutal criminal Mako. The mines in question were revealed to have been owned by the Techno Union. Where was that revealed?
In the episode, he talks about an episode.
Oh, does he? Oh,
yeah.
I guess I just completely glanced over that. A major faction in the Separatist Alliance, subsequently dismantled by the Empire. This left their facilities in the hands of criminals like Mako, who proved oppression and fear were not exclusively used by the Empire. This idea, curiously, was a central part of Lucas's plan for the sequel trilogy. According to Lucas in the book Star Wars Archives, episodes 1 through 3, the prequels, the original idea before Disney purchased Lucasfilm was for Darth Maul to serve as the sequel's big bad. Essentially, Lucas wanted Darth Maul to become the godfather of crime in the universe. As the Empire fails, the basic framework of this idea can be seen in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Solo Star Wars Story, and Star Wars Rebels, where Maul creates the crime syndicate Crimson Dawn before the original trilogy. Maul's second in command, Kira, took over operations following his final demise at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine. Kira was determined to continue Maul's mission of revenge against the Sith, who rejected him. As seen in Marvel's ongoing comics, Crimson Dawn started a massive war between other syndicates such as Hutts, Pikes, and Black Sun in a bid to get the Emperor's attention after Empire Strikes Back. However, there were plenty of other criminals and syndicates beyond Maul's Crimson Dawn who took advantage of the transition of power from the Fallen Republic to the Empire before A New Hope. Man, I miss having good criminals out there.
I don't know. Black Sun was pretty. They were the ones in KOTOR 2, right?
They've been around for they're one of the long standing, yeah. Black Sun and oh god, there was another one, I believe. I'm trying to remember what they were called.
I want to. I mean, I know the Pikes were in the freaking Book of Mando, but I remember Black Sun was they were pretty reputable. Not reputable, but they were pretty well known crime syndicate.
Oh, they were, yeah.
Demanded respect.
Hang on, I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay. So Shizor was the Black Sun. I was trying to remember what criminal organization Shizor was working for, or whatever was in charge of. It was the Black Sun. Yeah.
That's why they were probably in my opinion, the top of the
food chain. Yeah,
the creme de la creme of the crime syndicate, because Shizor was. I still gotta get through the whole book. And
Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
Do it now.
So that is it YJK audio? The thing you sent me, do they have it on there?
Yeah, they do.
I gotta go through it because they just have the abridged version, and I want the whole thing.
Yeah, they should have the whole thing was on there.
No, I meant I.
Oh yeah, for the actual official. Yeah.
Stupid.
With the Bad Batch having a particular focus on what the Techno Union devolved into, Tech and Omega reflect on the fact that there are other threats beyond the Empire, like Mako, who take advantage of the struggling and desperate. Likewise, there are also the larger crime syndicates within the galactic underworld, combined with other shows such as Book of Boba Fett, featuring tensions with the spice-running Pike Syndicate, or other comics, or the comics with the rise of Maul's Crimson Dawn. Star Wars certainly began to explore the themes Lucas toyed with for a sequel trilogy. But even this is a saying that these were just ideas. Basically, what also OG was saying, these were just kind of ideas. They weren't anything fleshed out and stuff like that. Star Wars explored the criminal underworld since '77 when Obi-Wan Kenobi took Luke Skywalker to Mos Eisley Cantina and hired a smuggler. Now, though, the battle against crime syndicates is becoming a major part of the ongoing Star Wars story. It will be thrilling to see the other Lucas ideas incorporated. Yeah, like she says, it's a funny thing that now they're suddenly deciding to start using his ideas for these other projects and stuff. I mean, that's what I was hoping for with the freaking Mandalorian, but instead it's just babysitters in freaking space.
Yeah.
The Dadalorian, as they're even, I think they're called.
I like that. I haven't heard that, but that's funny. The Dadalorian.
It's like, God damn it. No, it's funny that they're like she said, like OG said, it's funny that now they're deciding to use these ideas that Lucas was toying around with. And I mean, we basically did see it in expanded universe content via like Shizor in Shadows of the Empire and with the RTS what Star Wars game is that? God dang it. Hang on. It was, where are you? I have it in my game list. Or do I? Yeah, it should. Where is it? Oh yeah, Star Wars Empire at War. It was with the expansion pack too, with the character Tiber Zahn, who's kind of having his own criminal under organization, and you know that I mean, Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight kind of had his own criminal under organizations that Kyle was first going up against before going towards Jarek and his Dark Jedi. And you know, you dealt with the criminal underworld in Jedi Outcast when you're going through Nar Shaddaa and all that stuff. So I mean, it's always been there. It's just Disney, they just haven't really gone into it. Apparently, although the comics supposedly have, but I mean, it's always been there in the EU content. And yeah, like you said with Coder, you dealt with the Black Sun and stuff like that. I think between both games.
I think it was more heavily in the second one because Kreia.
Yeah, Kreia.
Yeah. Why is she not top like 15? She's
top
good.
15
like
for what?
Sith. I like Kreia.
No, she's a great character.
Better than, well, I liked her. I'm biased.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty hilarious. That it's like, oh, now we'll. But yeah, and with it being Screen Rant, it's like, really?
That's the thing. I think, you never. I didn't realize, like, when we first started doing it, that Screen Rant was just terrible. But now I'm seeing that they're just terrible.
Dog water.
The worst of the worst.
Worst of the worst of the worst.
Yeah. Well, wait, is it 2 hours yet, dude? Almost
there. Another couple of minutes.
Did you have any other articles? I didn't. It was a slow week. I didn't find a lot of stuff to go over. So,
well, yeah, like I said again, it's just like it just didn't. There wasn't a whole lot that lent to me of like, ooh, I thought that would be really good to sink our teeth into. Yeah. It's kind of like I think when Celebration though kicks off, I think that's where we're gonna probably get a lot of juicy stuff to go off of.
I think this happened. Maybe this happened last year, where like things were quiet leading up until Celebration. Things died down a little bit, and then when it was kicking off, I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, it will. And the funny thing was, though, what I heard was that they were not going to be live streaming it. Apparently,
are they not?
When they had in the past,
are they not live streaming it this year?
Apparently not. Hang on. Let me try and see if I can find that, because I thought that was really weird. It's like this. Last time, yeah. So hopefully this is a. I think we've seen stuff from this site before. Definitely the top search result on YouTube or on Google. So bad news: Star Wars Celebration Europe 2023 will not be streamed to any platform. We have some bad news. Star Wars fans unable to attend Star Wars Celebration this year. It appears the event will not be streamed, according to the customer service representative for the event. This means we should not expect YouTube, Twitch, or any other platform to stream to the event live, unlike past celebration events. When asked if the event would be streamed to YouTube, this was the response we received. Upon checking, online streaming of Star Wars Celebration Europe is not available in YouTube or any platform this year. Thank you and have a good day. Please let us know if you need any further assistance. Canada Star's customer service department. You could not get a more copy and pasted freaking answer than that. Whew.
No, I will not be doing this, Sharon. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.
Yeah. I find this to be a huge bummer. This means the coverage of the event will be left to second and third hand observations on Twitter. If you are attending the event, do your best to clearly articulate what was said with the nuance in which it is said. I know many fans, myself included, will appreciate that. That's real. Why?
It's not because of COVID. Because it's not COVID.
No, because they did it last year.
Yeah, it's probably because it's a drag event. But it's not like you're ashamed. You're openly promoting it. So why would you not have live stream?
Yeah, that just seems really bizarre that they wouldn't have that.
I mean, not that I'm upset or anything, but oh well. I won't be watching it.
Kicked myself out again.
No. That's still the best.
I actually had the wrong window click, so when I hit my back button, it kicked me out of the chat.
No. I mean, I won't be upset because I won't be watching it, but
well, I'm
just
what's
interesting. I haven't heard Star Wars Theory say anything about it. I haven't, other than like, now I'm not actively following any shills or anything, but like we're very open. We're like we've talked about it, and I know Tim's talked about it. OG's talked about it. I've heard nothing from Star Wars Theory on this though, good or bad, indifferent. So again, I'm not a follower of his, and I don't pay to so I can write comments in YouTube, but like his videos do pop up, but I've not heard him say anything about it. I know he went to a Comic-Con last week up in Toronto, where he lives. Ashley Exon was up there, so he was going to go meet her again for probably the 19th time, I'm assuming. But yeah, like some of these guys aren't even talking about it. It's just funny because like, how are you not talking about this? How are you not talking about having a Star Wars Celebration that it's supposed to be about, news and upcoming things that you're going to do with the brand, and it's a drag.
And you're not going to do a live stream event of the panels and stuff like that.
But you're not even talking about the fact that it's going to be a drag show. And if you're not, then why are you?
Yeah, that they're going to have a drag show panel. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're not talking about it, like, why are you not? Like, are you content with it? Like, do you agree with it? I mean,
they obviously agree with it.
I just find it interesting that nobody's talking about it. The shills, at least. But he's not really. I don't think he's a shill. I think there's things that I disagree with him on, and he likes certain things that Disney and Star Wars has done, and that's fine. That's his right. But for somebody who kind of goes back and forth and has called out, Disney, Star Wars on some of the stuff, like I've not personally heard him. Maybe he has. Maybe he's done a video and I've just missed it. And if he hasn't, I apologize. But I just find it very interesting that I've not heard a lot of people talk about this.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not new. It's not like, oh yeah, it's just a normal celebration. Like you're having a drag panel.
Yeah, like it is. I can't say that I've followed any of the Disney shows. But yeah, I can't. I don't know. I haven't seen any buzz other than from our little circle of who's been kind of mentioning things, particularly about the the drag panel and stuff. So I don't know who is or has been talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, it's not a big deal. It's just a drag panel with kids. It's fine. It's not grooming. We're equal opportunists. What? It's mind-boggling.
Yeah. No, I'm just surprised. Like you say, it's just surprising that there's more buzz about it.
No, from I mean, the only buzz is like I said, like gay Jedi going out and about and saying that how excited this person is. Whether I don't know if they're male or I don't know, I don't care, but how excited they are. Well, thank goodness that we're actually having a drag show in Star Wars, and it'll bring the art of drag and all this to Star Wars, and then back it up with linguistic nonsense saying that Padme's trans and all this, just these stupid claims that have no evidence to back it up. Like it's like you saying grass is blue,
right?
Well, what do you mean the grass is blue? It's green. No, it's blue. Well, what's your evidence for it? Well, look at it. It's blue. It's not evidence, guy. That's your subjective opinion. It's your opinion that it's blue, but it's really not blue because it's green.
Yeah.
So
that whole event will it's I would imagine though that there will be some images and videos that probably leak out from people at the event unless
if they can get their phones in.
Yeah,
well, I'm sure they have their phones, but I mean,
I know they've had certain panels and stuff that people can't bring. I mean, people have found ways anyways. So they can't.
People videotape, take pictures in the Vatican. So I mean, it's not like if you can get stuff into the Vatican, then I'm sure you can figure out how to get some. I mean, it's in the same country,
right?
So.
No, 100%.
Hopefully next week we'll have more to talk about.
Hopefully the episodes give us more to talk about. That's for
sure. Yeah, I can't. I'm so excited to watch both of them.
Oh, I know. I can hear it.
I'm gonna pull a Tim and I'm gonna order a hot tub and I'm gonna watch it. Because that's basically what the whole season is going to be about.
Going and taking a bath
with your son in a brothel. However Greg worded it, he took his son to a brothel.
Yep. Basically.
Well,
oh boy.
That's all I got, man. I don't have anything else. Let me try to shoot for Shenanigans on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll keep people updated.
Keep you updated.
All right. Well, yeah, I can't think of anything else that I really want to go over to. I mean, I guess I could have checked out more things. Like I said, because I got sick this week. It just was a bad week.
Yeah, it's fine. It's 2 hours of the day. We still had stuff we got to talk about. It's fine. We're gonna have those weeks.
Absolutely.
I'll have to pick up the slack next week because you definitely picked up the slack when I was sick, and I picked up the slack when you were sick. So we'll do better.
No worries. No worries at all. So all right, well, with that, we'll say our goodbyes.
Hope
everyone had fun. Thank you for watching and all that jazz. And we'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, damn. Oh, there it is.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring, the one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, that put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter rage.